Sorry, yeah, they did a little bit of fixing, but I am glad to say all the panelists are here. Yes. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for everybody that's joining in to listen to our exciting, interesting session. My name is Shun Ono from Fukuoka City Global Business Support. I will be the moderator today, and I am pleased to introduce you to my guests, Han-san from ACE, Mimi-san from Techsauce, Amanda-san from Startup Terrace, TCA, and Cong-Thang from InnoLab, Vietnam. Yep. If you guys are looking to explore or expand or collaborate within Southeast Asian markets, these are the people that you need to know. So please grab them after the session, try to exchange cards. You will not be disappointed. Now, if I may just quickly move on to my established and esteemed guests, if you could kindly introduce yourselves, tell me perhaps a little bit more about yourself and also your organization that you represent.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Dingzhi from Singapore. I come from this organization called ACE, Action Community for Entrepreneurship. It's quite a mouthful, so let's just call it ACE. We are the National Trade Association for Startups in Singapore. So what we do is that we help to bring the community together through different programs, workshops, etc. And I'm here today with a few of my startups from Singapore, with a booth over there, because for Singapore it's small. So for us, being connected to the rest of the world, bringing Singapore startups out and bringing good startups from around the world into Singapore, that's a key part of what I look at ACE. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Han-san. Mimi-san.
Hi, I'm Mimi, the CEO and co-founder of Techsauce. We are the tech ecosystem builder in Thailand since 2012. At the time, the startup ecosystem in Southeast Asia just started. We have tech media. We also have the Techsauce Global Summit event that gathering more than 18,000 people from 60 countries come to Bangkok. And we also running the accelerator that more supporting government and the corporate in part of the corporate innovation. So if you would like to come to Bangkok, we are very happy to support. And actually, like Thailand, we also have the booth, the representative from True Digital Park. They are also our strategic partner.
Thank you, Mimi-san. I think 2012 is quite actually similar to Fukuoka City, too. I think we started our initiative in 2012, so it's good to see some connections there. Now, Amanda-san, if you may.
Thank you, Ono-san. Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda from Taiwan, and I'm the project lead of Startup Terrace Kaohsiung. And Startup Terrace is a governmental-funded startup hub in Taiwan under Ministry of Economic Affairs, Small and Medium Enterprise and Startup Administration. So we have two branches in Taiwan, one in northern part of Taiwan, that's in Linkou City. Another one is located in the southern part of Taiwan, that's in Kaohsiung City. So these two branches that we have focusing on different industries. For example, in the north one, that there will be like space and bioscience and this kind of industry. And in the south, we are focusing on the 5G AIoT technology and apply in different domains. For example, helping the traditional manufacturer into the smart manufacturing or smart marine and also other smart health tech or some others. And mainly, these two branches actually opened in different years. For example, the one in the north opened in 2019, and the south opened in 2021. And since 2019, together we actually run a lot of program for outbound, bring Taiwanese team to other markets. For example, to Thailand, to Singapore, to Fukuoka, of course, to Japan and other cities in Japan, and also CE region and also the North America. And we also hold a soft landing program like 1 to 2 batches a year. Welcome the startup from overseas, either where are you from, from Vietnam or from Thailand and from other countries around the world. And you're so invited because even before you register your companies in Taiwan, you are eligible to apply for our residencies already. So that is a very good tips for the international team. I think I'll call off here and move on to the next one. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda-san. Tan-san.
Hi everyone, my name is Thang from InnoLab Asia. So for years we trying to build a cross-border collaboration among Asia. So we have built a global program for the startup and the SME from Vietnam to the region. So most of our partner in the region, we have our team or our partner, our startup SME to join the event. So even from Techsauce in August or Techcheck in this October, we have people joining. And we set up the InnoLab Asia from 2016. And from the beginning, we mostly help the startup from Europe and US to Asia. But then we found that Asia actually is the quite interesting and potential market for us to focus. First of all, because we are near, it takes us just from 2 hours to 5 hours to go to each other. And second, I think it's easy for us to understand our culture. And that's why we try to set up many initiatives together. Whereas like Mimi here, we together to build Atlas in order to give more opportunity for those who want to explore Asia. And for InnoLab Asia, we have another subsidiary called Lead the Change, whereas we bring the young talent from Vietnam to other countries and from other countries to Vietnam for internship, for job opportunity. And this is something that we trying to build it too. And we have the law firm that actually from the north to the south to solve any issue related to your legal service. We have the tech company that can help you to build for the tech service and other like school that we can hunt the good talent for you. So this is what we trying to do and be helpful in the market.
Thank you, Dan-san. That's really interesting. I mean, this panel session is all about kind of connections, collaborations, and I'm really glad that you brought up Atlas. I mean, that is, I think, a initiative or a movement that kind of came about us ecosystem partners, friends, I guess, seeing each other or actually participating in each other's events. And before I go on and riff onto that topic of Atlas, I would just like quickly to shout out, I see friends from Singapore, originally from MDAC, now a new venture. Our ecosystem partners from the Philippines, shout out to Paulo, and of course GBS members, and Gak-san, I see you from also a strong partner from InnoLab. But now, bringing the topic back, can you tell me a little bit more, maybe Mimi-san or Tan-san, on Atlas? How did it actually bring about? I think Tan-san, you mentioned a little bit of why it happened, but perhaps who all is together with this Atlas movement? What is your plans, and what maybe has come out of it? Say, talent from Vietnam maybe to Thailand, or perhaps vice versa.
Actually, like Atlas Alliance is starting from like 4 members: Thailand, Techsauce, InnoLab from Vietnam, Techcheck from Philippines, and Kampu from Indonesia. I think this is quite hard for like international tech companies, tech startup outside Southeast Asia when they want to expand to this market. They don't know how to start. They don't know who is who and how to like set up the companies and which event that they should join. So we bring all of the strength and also our USP to provide them like a market insight, provide them the knowledge, and also recommend all of the activities that we have. And the next step is we will launch the research that we doing some survey with the startup in Southeast Asia, that what is the biggest pain point and what kind of the challenge they are facing today. So we will gathering this kind of the information. So the venture capitals in Southeast Asia and also outside this region, they can understand and know how to support and drive this ecosystem together. So these are the reason that why we form up this team. And actually, we still have another ongoing activities that we will launch soon.
I think, you know, in Asia, we have like 11 different cultures. And for us, you know, there is no outsider can understand us than ourselves. And when we form the alliance like this, it's a good chance for us to understand each other. And it's a great chance for those who penetrate in this market. Because those who understand the market well enough and guide you, for sure, you only have one way, is to win. And in the past, there no such organization like this. We actually discussed a few things that we launched beside the research, but for sure, I think in the future, we're gonna do it more, whereas it's easy for you as a partner that you want to play a role with us. Because I think for founding member at just the beginning, we need more partner to join us. It's not just for. Yeah, this is.
I hope that discussion was with over a few, maybe beer Saigon and some Chang beers. But no, that's exactly to the point. I think we all are aligned in the focus for startups to succeed. I think that is of utmost interest. But I think there are a lot of ways to go about it, and we are in a sense a bit of those pathfinders. There is perhaps a straight path that will help the startup succeed in our country of focus, but maybe you could deviate and go through alternative paths. But to be able to provide that kind of information is, I think, a key component of what we do. And to that point, I know for Startup Terrace Kaohsiung, we have some startups actually going to your programs. I think Yokto, it's Yoga Mat DX, a healthcare and wellness startup. Can you explain a little bit of what kind of program he's in and how that all came about?
Okay. I'll bring two cases. One is Yokto. Yokto is a Japanese startup. Ono-san, they bring to Taiwan this May to join InnoVax Computex, where the exhibition held by Taipei Computerization and also where I was employed. And Yokto is the yoga mat startup who integrate its sensors and in order to doing the smart exercise. And through the program, we have what we call is a Taiwan-Japan exchange program that we welcome the Fukuoka team to bring startup to come to Taiwan and have the interaction. Also, we have a pitching session together. And so through this program, they are able to have the project residents in our startup hub. And as our resident international teams, then we are able to provide them with the resources we have, the connection we have locally. So currently we're looking for manufacturers for Yokto in Taiwan to combine the mat and also the sensors together. But the meeting is still under arrangement. So this is one case. And also there is another team, LogiPiece, that is also our residents from your team as well. And LogiPiece is a startups registered in Singapore. However, they are established by Japanese, and so they specialize the AI and the logistic AI software on the logistic in maritime. So in Kaohsiung, we are a dual port. For example, we are international port, and we are also we have the international airport. So it is very important for them to try to market there. So currently, we are trying to connect them with different associations about logistic and also maritime companies. Currently, is still under arrangement as well, and there are also. These are two cases that I would like to showcase how they are able to join our hub, and through the network and through the collaboration we do, and either one that you can jump from one to another that works anytime. Yes, and the last Also, a very special case I would also like to bring is that we have a startup team to exhibit today as well. That is called Cocoa Tree. So, Cocoa Tree.
Cocoa
Yeah.
tree.
They are not growing cocoa at all. They are an AI companies who use the AI algorithm to read the image from satellite or from drones to help manage the forest. And also helping the corporates to do the carbon credit if they are willing to manage and control the forest and growing more trees for the countries. But this market in Japan is a different case. For example, in Taiwan, the landowner mostly are by nations. So they work with the governments a lot in order to provide the service. However, through the local partnership we have with Catalyst Kyushu, that we also know them through your connection. And as you say, that there's a lot of ways to go to the final goal. So they are looking for another path here in Japan, because in Japan, Japanese government has their own J credits, their own carbon credits. So their business model doesn't work here in Japan. So they will switch to another business model. For example, they have different POC sites in Southeast Asia, and a lot of corporates in Japan may focusing on having those credits in order to solve their problems here in Japan. So that's another round. Yes, that's some cases.
No, that's good. It's amazing those few cases that you brought up. For the Logi piece, really happy. I used to actually also be in the steel industry. I think Kaohsiung is also a steel plant or a major steel manufacturing hub. So I think, I really hope, I think their solution is very novel. The industry is very old school. Sailors aren't exactly known, I guess, for DX. But then again, there are innovations in the shipbuilding where you have autonomous, for example, shipping. I think that is perhaps the next generation after or maybe before full self-driving cars. And I'm really glad that you also brought up Cocoa Tree. So I think it's actually J Forest, or no, there's J Credit, but if it may be of interest, there is a J Forest. J Credit, I think, is carbon tax, cap and trade. But J Forest, I believe there is a biodiversity tax and credit. And I am not exactly sure, but maybe this is also part of the connections, right? I think we surely know some information, but if not, we know somebody else or a connection that has information. But that is a biodiversity tax and trade, or cap and trade. And I believe there are some general trading companies that actually do the quantification. Because I think, QA, QC is required to actually pay out, right? And through the validation process, you have to go through that qualification, and therefore, perhaps I think Cocoa Tree may be able to ascertain how many trees or how much carbon. So perhaps, let's talk later on that. But going back again, Logi piece, yes, it is a Fukuoka-based entrepreneur, but in Singapore, which I do have my qualms about. I do want her to, Kamiya-san, I do want her to come to Fukuoka too as soon as possible. But yeah, perhaps, on the ACE's side, I think, she has, Logi Peace and Kamiya-san has been in the new Pier 71. I know that's perhaps not the same organization, but you guys are working together. I think there's a lot of opportunities. Can you maybe perhaps talk a little bit?
Right. Sure. So, I wanted to share the story of a different startup also. Because, we had, under this Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology that's happening end of this month, 29th to 31st October, there's a startup competition. There's a key part of it called Slingshot. So there's this winner from a few years ago, Thermalytica. It's actually a Japanese startup. Taiwanese founder.
There's cross-border co-creation right there.
Right. Yeah. So as part of Slingshot, Thermalytica landed in Singapore. And then now they are doing their POCs together with some transport operators, etc., to reduce the cooling needed because they have a heat insulation solution. So for buses, etc., buildings, they are doing quite a few tests. I think this open innovation, having corporates involved in working with startups, that's one thing that in Singapore we have been trying to do. The other thing is also, if you look at title stage 1, I think a lot of people also ask, what exactly is stage 1? What does it mean? And then stage 2, what does it, is there a stage 2? So this is also an interest from Singapore government in recent years, not just bringing Singapore startups overseas, but in terms of startups comes through different programs like Slingshot, startups like Thermalytica and others. They have interest in Singapore. We also want to help them land. So stage 1 is kind of your first step into Singapore, and for ACE that's running this program, we're happy to work with startups to see how we can help to connect, be it to bridge the connection with corporates, with other partners within the ecosystem, etc. In Singapore, it is a very small place, so those who have been here will know. But I think it's also because it's such a small place that is those kind of cross-referral recommendation to different partners, that's something that we do very strongly. Because it's such a small community, it doesn't make sense to just keep something to yourself. It doesn't happen there. Yeah, I think that's the same with a lot of the partnerships that we have with different partners here as well. So for Fukuoka City Government, we have MOU, and for 2 years we have been at Ramentech, and then there will also be Fukuoka startups coming to Singapore for Switch. I think the same for other areas as well, where we have a Global Innovation Alliance program. So we have soft landing partners in Japan is Leaf and Nest, and then there's Plug and Play, and also Quest Ventures for different countries. So I think these are also how, even if not directly, but there's linkages between the different markets for startups to kind of go across different places, as you mentioned. I think that's especially true for Singapore because of the size. I don't think any startup come to Singapore because we have a huge market, unfortunately. So I think that connectivity has to be strong, and bringing people around and having different partners to do the work that can help to support the startups. Yeah.
They don't go for Hainan chicken as well? Or
sure, and curry, fish head curry.
No, I think there you have it. I mean, you've heard from each of our ecosystem partners, some success stories, some opportunities. I think it brings down to the point, like perhaps we are small individually, but united we are strong. I think it brings also to my other favorite adage, no man is an island. I think together we're able to really help each other. But with that speaking on the backdrop, I think there's a lot of big movements geopolitically and perhaps business-wise going around. I would like to now ask on perhaps what could be maybe improved, or what is perhaps something that is maybe missing, or opportunity perhaps in disguise. For example, in Japan perhaps as a whole, I think we are moving towards more of an outbound-oriented startup strategy. We will still have inbound, and we do have inbound programs at the moment, and we are able to fully support international entrepreneurs and businesses, but I think the focus is towards the outbound. Perhaps maybe that is an opportunity for our partners here to send over, or maybe some thoughts, or perhaps some initiatives on your sides that you can voice, or maybe.
In Thailand, I think it's quite a challenge in terms of the fundraising, actually like all around the world, not just only in Thailand. And right now, if they are like a B2C or even like B2B, I think they are quite good enough, because the big corporate in Thailand, they are like a superpower buyer, so they can buy the solution from tech startup. But it's quite hard to like compete with the key the solution from US or Europe, especially for like a marketing technology. So sometimes if you think about the B2B, you might need to find what is a real unique selling point. But for B2C, it's very challenge for them. It's quite hard to like compete with the big player from China mainland as well, who have already dominated the market in e-commerce area. So they might need to think about how to be like maybe like trying to find and understand what is the whole value chain and what is the real pain point, instead of building the big platform to compete with the big player. Or the another area, because Thailand is not too in terms of the size, it's not too big but not too small. So when they want to raise fund at the Series B or at the Series C level, they might need to think the other country, not just only Thailand, but maybe Thailand, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, and other region. So the most important thing is the startup, they need to think regionally as the first market. Thailand is not enough. So this is the most important thing that, and one of the biggest challenge for local startup.
Tan-san mentioned before, I think, 5+1, or, it's not just one, maybe, it's an opportunity to maybe target, a few others. And as you mentioned, Indonesia, maybe shout out to Kumpul, Mega, where are you? But then, I guess, Tan-san, you have the mic.
I think one of the challenge that the Vietnamese founder are facing is, they think 100 million people is big enough for them to explore already. So in the past, the founder just focused on the local market. Then the regional player joined the market. Then they suddenly they found that, wow, it's not really a good way for us to do with the domestic market. And they start to think regional. But if you see like Vietnam, from the perspective of doing with the world, we open from 1996 until now. It's like 29 years to doing with the world. So we don't have a lot of experience to build like big infrastructure that can last for century. We didn't have the company like that in Vietnam yet. So for the big corporate, in order to open with the startup, it's still the hesitation there. When I come to Thailand, I'm a bit jealous that, the big corporate from Thailand, they open with the startup to have the conversation. In the last 8 years, I try to facilitate the conversation between the startup with the corporate. It's quite challenging with that. So most of the partnership and collaboration that I can make it is from the MNC with the startup. That's quite, that actually is quite tough for us. But if the corporate from Vietnam, but lucky that now more corporate from Vietnam, they start to run the acceleration program. They have the CVC. So with that, I think if they willing to open for the client from, let's say, the competition is not just within Vietnam, but the competition for the big corporate. Let's say I can make a few corporate from Vietnam to share the challenge. Then I can attract the startup from Thailand, from Taiwan, from Singapore, from Japan, even Philippines and Indonesia with Vietnam. Currently, we didn't have that kind of challenge yet. But hopefully in the future, we can apply that kind of model to Vietnam and from Vietnam to other countries. So let's say the founder can test their product in Vietnam on Monday. On Wednesday, they can raise fund in Singapore. And then they can build a storytelling marketing park in Thailand and go with the logistics in Indonesia. So that's going to be something that Asia in the next 5 years going to be innovation corridor. But first thing first, we need to build trust and we need to stop acting like we are one single island. We need to open more. Let's say, okay, how we can encourage the startup from other countries to have the fair play with the local one. We don't have that kind of policy yet. So from the public to the private, even we are private sector, we're trying to collaborate, but it's just one part. How we can encourage our government to push more in terms of the policy. Let's say you have grant, so what kind of opportunity that we can receive the grant from your country and from my country? Single question, but it's not answered yet.
The devil's in the details sometimes. But I am glad to say, I know, we'll be attending VIS, and I know some of the startups that we will be bringing as well.
Yep.
Perhaps that information has been shared, but one of it is a young gun, AI related, and I think that will be really good opportunity for business matching, but also to soft land in Vietnam.
One part I want to add is that if there's a way that we can do the program together, so let's say I have one startup that recently I think I share with the Mimi team. It's quite interesting that that guy is from Vietnam, but he based in Singapore. And he actually account for 60% of the market share, but he's still burning money in Thailand now. He needs support from the e-commerce with that. So it's really, really challenging. So Indonesia, actually recently I connect him with our partner from Indonesia. But if with those connections, I think he's gonna burn more money. So hopefully that he's gonna be getting something. So this is the real story that if the startup they want to go regional and without the partner support, it's really hard.
United we are stronger, divided we are divided. But I know, for example, and so I brought up the example that I think Japan is slowly going towards more outbound focus. I have heard inklings in Taiwan that it is actually might be moving towards a more bringing in an inbound orientation. Perhaps, Amanda, if you have any other pain points or some other issues that you'd like to address.
I think I would divide it to two different angles. For the startup, from a supporting organization to see the startup, I think the startup in Taiwan, they're actually really bad at marketing. So that's why we have the Thailand partner to tell us that, yeah, I can do the marketing for the Taiwanese team because that's our advantage. Yes, I believe so. And also about the environment in Taiwan, that is another angle, another perspective. That is, we actually quite shortage of angel-run investors. So we have a lot of VCs, CVCs from big corporates in Taiwan. However, they usually invest in maybe from pre-A to B, much more mature startup whose technology has been approved and certificated. However, for those who just getting started, it's very difficult to find the angel investment. So sometimes we heard that in Japan, it's actually quite a lot of angel investors. So currently, some of them are looking for some investors from Japan. Of course, for other startups who actually are stable enough with their technologies and also their global view and their market strategies, they tend to go to Asian markets, for example, Thailand or like Vietnam or Indonesia, Philippines for their business partners because they need to conduct their technologies to those areas where it's needed. So they're really looking into different markets for different needs. That's why we all collaborated together and input our advantages. And also in Taiwan, from a governmental supported organizations, we have our problems. For example, we only focusing on the areas that the governments are looking for. So there are still some areas that deem is they don't have enough opportunity for the highlights or the investors or for the opportunities to apply for those outbound program to go to other markets. Because currently, because the ICT corporates are so famous in Taiwan, we're so good at our manufacturers, we're good at integrated software and hardware. So that's why our government focusing on the tech startups and also increasing the opportunities to welcome more global teams to come to Taiwan. So that means there's still some part of our startup haven't been taken care of. So that is our problem. And for those that we are willing to, of course, working with other partners. Yes.
Yeah, the angel investor or the Series A round. I think that is Japan has a increasing pool, but on the other side, there could always be more. But I think we also I think share a bit of the opportunity in a sense. from a wise person that I talked to in another event. He was saying, for example, Japan has a big middle class population. If you have over 100, 200,000 in your bank account, or say you have over 100, 200, $300,000 in your bank account, you could technically be a mini angel investor. I think you definitely have better interest rate, returns than having it in the bank, for example. So perhaps it may be an opportunity, maybe if Atlas or maybe with amongst each other to foster maybe a movement, say, hey, build an angel investor community with Southeast Asia. That could be something of a co-creation cross-border opportunity. But I think you had your mic in your hand, so I hope I didn't interrupt you, but perhaps,
Yeah. So I think I was chiming in on the cost issue. Singapore, I think that's a little bit more unique for us. I think in the region, the cost of business in Singapore is very high. So I think that's something that when startups come and look at Singapore, in terms of venture funding, etc., we are doing okay. There can always be more. And in the current climate, it has fallen from 2023 timings. But I think in terms of overall funding, there's still some powder going around. But in terms of the cost of doing business, that's what a lot of startups will be quite concerned about. Both about living, about rental, etc. So then there's sometimes question. So what can we do, to still be in Singapore to tap on the upsides, but try to reduce a little bit of it? I think that's where we have a bit more of these co-sharing facilities. We have labs that are co-sharing. We have co-working spaces, etc. So these help to reduce the cost of starting out in Singapore. Until you are ready, you manage to get funding, and then that's how you can roll a little bit more. Where ACE is in the launch pad of Singapore, that's where we have about 700-800 startups, and so a lot of investors, partners in the community. There's always a question also. So why this place? How did it start attracting these many startups in the first place? The simple reason is cost. So that place is a kind of a subsidized rate for startups to start in. So within the launchpad area, I think that's where we kind of form that community. I thought that's an area of opportunity. I thought the other one, in terms of working with partners also, when you think of coming to Singapore and that similar high cost consideration, doesn't mean that everything has to be done in Singapore. There are a lot of partners that we have in the region, etc. Marketing with a strength, manufacturing with strength, and other things. This is areas where not just about when you set a business, you start a business in each individual area. When you start a business in a region, that can be a consideration about how you have different arms of the business, or people working on different things in different areas as well. So I think employment on record, EOR, is something that we're increasingly seeing also. Having a person run a business first to get the first business before you actually set up a lot of infrastructure, manpower in place. Yep.
No, totally. I think on the aspect of cost and also starting up. I think what's certain is I think for example I think real estate prices and or office costs in Singapore is going up. However, opportunity is there, but perhaps there is a bit of a fog, or uncertainty, which again goes back to where we come in to try to disperse that fog away. Now, we talked about the present. We talked about perhaps a bit of the pain point. Now I'd like to maybe go to the future, to what you see down the road of the next 5 years. If you could each perhaps say a few words on what kind of opportunities you may see down the road, or what kind of vision perhaps you see for yourselves and for the startup ecosystem in each of your country. Perhaps maybe starting from Tan-san from the left side.
Well, I think I accidentally shared something about that. So I think in the next 5 years, Asia gonna be the innovation corridor for all the country. Whereas we connect not just capital, but also talent and opportunity. I share a bit about, the founder can test their product on Monday in Vietnam. They can go to Singapore on Wednesday to raise fund, to go to Thailand to make the marketing material and build their logistic team in Indonesia, sell, and they can go with Taiwan and Philippines for another part and get partner from Japan. So that's gonna be the future that I think Asia should have, because we don't need to like build another Silicon Valley in Asian version. We don't need that. We have our own strength and we have our own potential. So the point here is that how we stop acting like a single island with each other, how we open our door with each other, learn more from each other and respect our differences. And from there, how we can help each other. Like Singapore, you guys have capital, but how we can access who the capital here? We didn't share that yet. Yeah. So with Thailand, for example, we have good material, how we can work with the designer team, because like the tech team from Vietnam is complaining, we waiting for that like 2 months, but how can we make it faster? But you know, when the result from Thailand, everyone, wow, this is great. But how we know the difference between the time and the base between these different countries. And with Taiwan, you guys have like really good hardware. How can we take advantage of that and make it like our Asian product? And in the near future, this is how I see Asia connect and support and get more things done together bigger.
I think there's also a semiconductor movement, I think, going on in Vietnam. I think Ho Chi Minh, especially. So I think maybe there's hopefully potential collaboration. I am still waiting for Paolo at Techsauce to share me Philippine secrets as well as his adobo recipe. But putting that aside, Amanda?
Okay, for the next 5 years, of course, the emerging issue is AI related, and either from the governmental policy or from the market trends. And so in Taiwan, if you want to look for more opportunities, the first thing is you can look into the policies, recent policies for the investment or for the major 5 years policies. So of course, the recent one is AI startups, and then semiconductor, and also the space related, for example, the satellite something, and these are so highly important. And the focus is shifting from Taipei, Hsinchu to the southern part. For example, in Tainan, the science park, or in Kaohsiung science park. These kind of things. And the second part is how can we work even longer and work even better in 5 years in order to make Asia the next innovation center and cluster, is because we are from different supporting organization, different agencies, and we have different program, resources, and outbound or inbound support. So from my previous experience conducted in the next 5 years, I would say that it's not really important to find one partner who can exchange inbound and outbound program at the same time, but just one resource that you can link to him. For example, I can link to Mimi about our outbound program, and then but I can link to Han about your outbound but is my inbound program, and then we can find InnoLab for others. For example, the talents, because in Taiwan, although we are good at manufacturing, everyone is going to the high-end ICT, semiconductor, TSMC, and for those tech startups, it's very difficult to find the new talent for them. Then we can find talent from you guys. Yep. So just take what you need from each other. That's the most important. Yes, thank you.
I mean, I'm already about to move to Kaohsiung in Taiwan just for the Ruro Han, but Mimi?
Yeah, totally agree with both of them. And I think that if we look forward into the next 5 years, we have like to think back what is our strength, what is our core strength. Like in Thailand, we are good in part of the healthcare, wellness, hospitality, and actually we can leverage the AI to drive more productivity for this area. And another area is very interesting right now is the food technology. Not just only from big corporate, but we have seen there are many like promising tech startup company that focus on food directly. So from this strength, I think that we should create more collaboration across Asia. As Thang has mentioned, we don't need to do everything. If some part, like for example, like for the talent, I think it's when compared with Vietnam, you have a lot of the tech talent. So maybe we can outsource or bring in like a talent pool come to Thailand and collaborate with our country. So in the next 5 years, we might need to like reconsider what is our cost range, and after that, focus and put the resource on that area first. Because if we throw all the budget and all resource to all sector, I think we will lose the focus.
Yeah, it's true. I think there's also a foundation, for example, on or a level or current market situation of each individual country, which you have to, in a sense, elevate, and it's not. I think there's no one clear answer to reach to become the next unicorn, the next high talent market, for example. So I think that's a work in progress, but also it has to be perhaps a bit targeted instead of doing all at once. Otherwise, it may not get anywhere.
I mean, with the same trend of thought, looking at what is important, more inwards looking first for Singapore, and then kind of a certain similarity to Japan. I think is one, aging population, lesser people in the workforce. Therefore, robotics or even embodied AI and robotics will be an area that we are looking at. With the same overarching challenge, healthcare, biomed. I think that's also another area that when we look at. I think when people ask about what are some of, if Singapore is looking at deep tech, what are some of the deep tech that areas are? I think these definitely are those that affect us. Of course, sustainability on the core as well. And for some of these deep tech technologies, solutions, etc., I think there's a different way to build them as how we have built the startups we have today. More towards venture building, how do we bring resources to them earlier, connecting them with the different partners. Then I think that's kind of the key also. Echoing, same thing as shared by fellow panelists, I think how do we connect the different markets? That's the challenge and the opportunity. One thing I thought I've seen that's a little bit in more recent time is that instead of a mission going to a single country, we have started seeing missions going to one country plus one, or in fact more of that. I thought that's not a bad thing, because then going to, let's say, Singapore and then Thailand, or Vietnam, Taiwan, Japan, along this route maybe we can even be a chain and people go around. I thought exploring more than one market as you go towards on some of these missions, that may be another way to connect people. Thanks.
Maybe we need a startup cruise. It's an intensive acceleration camp as well.
By your captain.
It won't be the Titanic. It won't be the Titanic, I'll guarantee you. Now, guys, we are coming.
I think the cruise will last for 90 days at least then.
At very least, until the liquor runs out, perhaps. No. But we are coming to almost the end of the program or the session. I think we could talk on a little bit longer, but maybe just as a final plug-in, Ramentech 2025, the Global Summit started today. We're going to go until the 9th, and we have a few other days where there'll be fantastic events in Fukuoka City. I would like to also give the opportunity for yourselves to also PR. I know Switch is coming, and Techsauce next year, etc., so forth. Please, how at it, and let our friends and family know about what fantastic events there are in your countries.
Sure, thanks. I think first and foremost, we have a booth here. We have 3 startups with us. Please visit us. And then coming up at the end of the month, Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology. That's kind of one of the largest tech conference in Singapore every year, 29th to 31st October. following which, less technology, but again, a big, if not bigger event, Singapore FinTech Festival in the middle of November. Usually the conference aggregate around this period. But I think it's a good time. Singapore is hot. So in the October, November period, it's slightly cooler. So to come and visit. I would also say once you're in Singapore, beyond the different programs that you meet, feel free to meet the partners. ACE, where the launchpad, always happy to welcome foreign startups. And as mentioned, for this stage 1 program, in supporting startups, exploring and expanding in Singapore, that's something we're always happy to help. Thank you.
For next year, we have Techsauce Global Summit event in August again. Actually, like every year in August, 27 to 29 in Bangkok. So that week we will call it like an innovation week. So if you come to Bangkok during that time, it will be you can take it as a vacation as well. You can enjoy Thai food. We also have like one of the great massage in the world. So hopefully that you can come to Bangkok during that time. And another good news is we just spin off another event that called Health Festival to support health tech and med tech startup from all around the world who want to target Thailand as one of the first launch pad. It will be in February. So please feel free to reach out to me if you want to know more detail about that. Thank you.
We're bringing 10 startups from Taiwan, and also we have a Taiwan area just outside there from booth number 15 to 38. And there are 6 projects altogether and bring more than actually 35 startups here to Fukuoka this time. And so you're welcome to look around and to talk with every one of them. Or if you are an ecosystem partner, you're welcome to find me just at the end of that side, just by the window. We're open for any kinds of collaboration. There are a lot to talk about. And behind all those projects, I'm personally from Taipei Computer Association, and that is the largest ICT association in Taiwan. We have 4,000 ICT members, and you name which famous one in Taiwan are our members. So that means we have a lot of industry connection in Taiwan. That's why a lot of international teams come to Taiwan looking for manufacturers, looking for collaboration, and this is where we are. And also as TCA members, we actually hold important expos in Taiwan. For example, we hold Smart City Expo and Summit every March in Taipei and in Kaohsiung parallelly. And we also have InnoVax parallelly with Computex, that's a quite famous one, recently focusing on the AI and semiconductors. So these are all the information I'd like to you guys to bring back. And if you are interested, just stop by our booth and also talk to everyone else. Thank you.
I am under the pressure because because next month is our Vietnam Innovation Summit. So my event hosts from 6 to 7 November together with Saigon Entrepreneur Magazine with the Department of Science and Technology. This year we have another partner, Joy National Innovation Center from Ministry of Finance. We have like 30 country partner coming to Ho Chi Minh City. So this year we have 120 business showcase, which bigger than we usually host. We will welcome those who are interested in Vietnam. During that time, if you love to have the river cruise, it's ready for you to have and enjoy the Vietnamese food. We love to show some of the specialty dish from Vietnam if you're coming during that time. And of course, Thailand, Vietnam, we have great food together. So food is something that we're proud to share. So you can come to Vietnam and you can feel the difference between Vietnam and other region. Yeah, thank you.